Officials tell Reuters that the Iranian drone shot down earlier today over the Arabian Sea was a Shahed 139 surveillance drone, which was downed by an F-35C Lightning II. Isn't this always funny? They have plenty of air defense on board the USS Abraham Lincoln. They have so much air defense. But we're the big, scary United States, and we have to send an F-35C Lightning II to go strike down an unmanned drone. Iran immediately sent another drone to monitor the USS Abraham Lincoln. We are so back. They thought that they could stop the Iranians from the reconnaissance, but no, they just sent another one within like 3 minutes. They sent another one out there. So the question is, again, the U.S. knows that Iran has as many drones as they could hope to ever use, right? More than enough. The U.S. knows that the Iranians could respond by striking one of these U.S. drones out of the sky, which has been monitoring, surveilling, doing reconnaissance. They know that. They know that the Iranians could target any of the military cargo that has been shipped into the region. They know that any of this could happen. They know that negotiations are about to take place with the United States and the Iranians. Direct negotiation. Why would you strike that drone out of the sky? Why do that unless you want to nuke the whole thing? The U.S. military has shot down an Iranian drone that approached a U.S. aircraft carrier in the Arabian Sea. What are the instant ramifications of this? Well, my initial thoughts are that the U.S. is not all that interested in some sort of a deal. Look, I've been telling you this the entire time. You have all these people coming out. In fact, I just did an interview with George Papadopoulos, former senior advisor to Trump on foreign policy. Nice enough guy, but everyone, so many people keep telling me that Trump doesn't actually want a war. Well, if that's true, the Iranians were saying, we're going to do these negotiations. We're going to have these diplomatic talks. Okay, they changed the agenda where they wanted to meet, right? Israel's slipping in all these poison pills into the negotiations. Witkoff and Kushner, totally trustworthy individuals, are in Tel Aviv right now meeting with Netanyahu and the chief of the Israeli military to discuss these negotiation matters before they go off and have these negotiations. But they tell us that, they're actually committed to some sort of a deal. Why, if the United States, if Trump, if they're so committed to having a deal, why is it that they are airstriking these reconnaissance drones that are doing nothing more than that? Reconnaissance. They've been doing reconnaissance each and every day since the moment that the USS Abraham Lincoln arrived with the full carrier strike group in the Persian Gulf. Why on earth would you destroy the odds of these negotiations having any sort of success? Okay, it is simply because they don't want them to succeed. Trump doesn't want them to succeed. I see someone in the chat saying incoming false flag. Oh, don't worry, we'll get there, about the Iranian fishermen that tried to seize a U.S. military warship today. Yeah, we'll get there to the false flags. But first, let's talk about this drone incident, okay? So the U.S. F-35 shot down an Iranian Shahed 139 that was monitoring the USS Abraham Lincoln in the Arabian Sea. Iranian media say Tehran could retaliate by targeting a U.S. drone in the Persian Gulf. That's a sincere possibility, right? Silverback, thank you for the super chat. That's a sincere possibility. You know that the Iranians are going to respond. You know that by striking that Iranian reconnaissance drone out of the sky, that Iran could respond. The negotiations are going to fall through in all likelihood. You know that this is only going to fast track and accelerate the likelihood that this Iran war is going to begin very, very soon. All right. Now, let me also tell you this. We have been reporting on this. Maybe you have missed our streams or our videos. But the U.S., the United States, has also been flying drones all across the Persian Gulf. They have been sending in like the entire U.S. military to the region. F-35s, F-15s, F-14s, C-5, C-21, Globemaster, military cargo jet, Patriot, THAAD systems, nuclear submarines. They're sending in the 2 U.S. carrier strike groups, destroyer. Iran hasn't touched any of that. Iran has not laid their finger on any of that. So why on earth are they going to bomb this drone, this Iranian drone, when Iran hasn't done anything to them? Mia, thank you for the super chat. There's a new drone sent immediately to continue monitoring. Iran has no shortage of drones. Yes, we are going to discuss that right now because that's what's happened. Iran is clearly not intimidated. Armed drones have been flying around the USS Abraham Lincoln Group since its arrival, and everyone can see them. Iran immediately sent another drone to monitor the USS Abraham Lincoln. We are so back. They thought that they could stop the Iranians from the reconnaissance, but no, they just sent another one within like 3 minutes. They sent another one out there. So the question is, again, the U.S. knows that Iran has as many drones as they could hope to ever use, right? More than enough. The U.S. knows that that the Iranians could respond by striking one of these U.S. drones out of the sky, which has been monitoring, surveilling, doing reconnaissance. They know that. They know that the Iranians could target any of the military cargo that has been shipped into the region. They know that any of this could happen. They know that negotiations are about to take place with the United States and the Iranians. Direct negotiation. Why would you strike that drone out of the sky? Why do that? Unless you want to nuke the whole thing. Unless you want war. I'm so sick and tired of all of these parasites who are clinging on and sucking the blood out of this global financial capital Epstein regime. You have all these parasites which are claiming to the bits of relevancy, trying to say, oh, I'm an insider. I know Trump doesn't want war. Trump is a man that doesn't want war. He wants peace. Who's the one that has been correct in the midst of all of this? I'm the one that told you that they wanted. And Brian Berletic, shout out Brian Berletic. Brian Berletic is the one who's been doing the real digging, right? Brian Berletic, I've followed Brian Berletic. I've seen Brian Berletic's been right about all this. He's been 100% correct about all this. If Trump doesn't want war, why is he sending in the entire U.S. military to the region? If the U.S. doesn't want war, why is Witkoff and Kushner going to meet with Netanyahu, the IDF chief of staff, and other officials, security officials in Tel Aviv right now to slip a bunch of poison pills like no ballistic missiles, no uranium enrichment? The uranium has to be stored. The enriched uranium has to be stored in Turkey or Russia. Why are they doing that? It's all a bunch of bullshit. It's all a bunch of liars, snakes, thieves, and people who want to see Iran crumble. These are sickening people. These are people who covered up and told you that there were no Epstein files. These are the people who told you that there was no list, that nothing went wrong, that nothing happened. These are the people who told you that, like, oh, it's just a conflict between Israel and Gaza. Oh, well, it's actually okay that Trump decided to go kidnap Maduro because things are better now and we've got the oil. These are literal parasites. I cannot stress this enough. They are legitimate parasites, these people. They're so disgusting. And by the way, Yanis Varoufakis, doing streams with Hassan Piker, you're in the club too, buddy. Former Greek finance minister, cheerleading these Iran Mossad riots. You know what I find so interesting? I'll say this. Hassan said some nice things about me a few weeks ago. He said some nice things about me, right? And he gave me my flowers, as they say. But he's still attacking me. He's still saying all these ludicrous lies about me. Why, Hassan Piker, are you chilling with Yanis Varoufakis, who, did he even condemn his good friend Noam Chomsky, who is not only, besties with Epstein, but actually sending him like full-fledged essays as long as his stupid books that he stole the contents of. He plagiarized all his books, Noam Chomsky, and Noam Chomsky is sending these full, 20-page essays to Epstein talking about, well, I don't believe any of these lies. A bunch of people lie about me. And actually, this is how you should combat the lies against you, Mr. Epstein. And, we've been friends for so long. I know these are all lies, right? Yeah. Bunch of cowards, snakes, spineless hacks, rats, and parasites. That's the best way to describe them. Yanis Varoufakis, Noam Chomsky, Hassan Piker for what it's worth, because he's still lying about me, as he has this sit down with Yanis Varoufakis promoting these Mossad riots in Iran. Everyone is so fake. Everyone is a bullshitter to the max. And what are we witnessing right now? The number one thing that they said was not going to happen because Trump doesn't want war. What is happening? What is this? What is this? As Tucker Carlson says. Do they not understand that Iran has the capacity to shut down the Strait of Hormuz just like this? Yeah, we'll see about that. Or is that another psyop? Oh, yeah, I'm coming to the United States. I wouldn't start a war against Iran while I'm planning a visit to the United States. I haven't gotten to the United States. I got my big trip to the United States. The war in Iran's going to be way later. Yeah, okay. We're not going to start a war on Iran. We're not going to start the 12-day war. We've got a 7th round of negotiations in Oman tomorrow. We wouldn't do anything like that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, sure. He's got this big trip to the United States that's definitely going to happen. Maybe I'll believe it when I see it. Believe it when I see it. Iran has calculated that by closing the Strait of Hormuz, oil prices could rise from $70 to $200. The calculation does not take into account the closure of the Bab el-Mandab Strait, which, of course, Yemen's Houthis would carry out. All right? Officials tell Reuters that the Iranian drone shot down earlier today over the Arabian Sea was a Shahed 139 surveillance drone, which was downed by an F-35C Lightning II. Isn't this always funny? Like, they have plenty of air defense on board these, the Abraham Lincoln, the USS Abraham Lincoln. They have so much air defense. But we're the big, scary United States, and we have to send an F-35C Lightning II to go strike down an unmanned drone. They say, the Iranians, they're a bunch of cave-dwelling, knuckle-dragging troglodytes that they can't produce. They're a backward civilization. But, we have to send an F-35C2 Lightning to go and strike down their unmanned drone. It's all show. It's all theatrics. It's all the same. It's like when I was at the funeral in Lebanon. I was at the funeral in Lebanon in Beirut. You guys know what funeral I'm talking about, right? And the Israelis send these two IDF fighter jets above our heads at the funeral. By the way, the U.S. was pressuring the Israelis to bomb the funeral I was at. And so they flew over our heads. Oh, big tough Israelis. Except those aren't your planes, are they? Those aren't your planes. Those aren't yours. Those are American jets. You got to call Big Bro to even see if you can use those jets to scare the Lebanese. It's all such a charade. Such a joke, such a charade. So this is the drone that was shot down. Iranian medium altitude, long endurance UAV used for surveillance and precision strike missions. Okay? That's what they shot down. We're back, though. Iran sent another drone out over the waters. Now, here's the question. Of course, this episode, when we release this as a bite-sized episode for those who are not tuning into the live stream, shame on all of you. Of course, you should be tuning into our live streams. When they send this drone back, the Iranians are going to send an extra drone back out there after the U.S. shot down the first one. What is the U.S. going to do? They shoot down that one. Iran's got another drone. You see how this is a slippery slope? See how that's a slippery slope? The U.S. does widespread bombs across Iran, Tehran, maybe. Okay, Iranians they'll engage their missiles hidden in giant mountains across the country, which you guys have no idea where they are, and they're going to hit the U.S. military bases, or maybe Iraqi PMF, or Kataib Hezbollah, or Nujaba, or maybe the Afghan Shiite. By the way, Kataib Hezbollah has Fatah 1s now, hypersonic missiles. Or maybe they shut down the Strait of Hormuz with some naval drones and naval mines. Or maybe they get struck again and then they hit all the oil and gas assets in the region. Or maybe they target the U.S. military bases in the UAE or Egypt or Jordan or Qatar. This is a really bad idea. Really bad idea. Yes, Trump wants it. If they didn't want this, they would not be striking these drones out of the sky. These drones, the Iranian drones and the American drones, have been flying, doing reconnaissance, doing intel work for the past week. The Iranians haven't touched a single one of the American drones, but now the Americans strike the Iranian drone. What does that tell you? Tells you that everything you heard from these idiots saying Trump doesn't want war, yeah, that was a bunch of BS. None more, none less. Before you leave, I want to say thank you for the support, because after 2 years of being banned, we are finally back home on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and also join as a member on our channel using the link at the top of the description. I rely on the generous support of viewers like yourself to get the truth out to as many people as possible. You can also support the show on Locals or Give Sin Go. The mainstream media and the powers that be are never going to stop attacking us for bringing the truth to as many people as we do. Thank you so much for your support.